on your devices to silent mode and be fully present during the next 1 hour.
Today marks the 17th annual day of Sugun Thomas Foundation in remembrance of Mr. Sugun Thomas. Let us stand together and observe a few moments of silence as we remember and acknowledge Mr. Sugun Thomas, whose memory has lit up the lives of hundreds of boys and girls today. Thank you. Kindly be seated. Let's get started with our event with words of welcome. Small cheer and great welcome makes a merry feast. I would now like to call upon Kritika, who is doing her BCom General final year at Stella Maris College. She studied in St. Anthony's Girls High Secondary School. She was a school topper and got an award from Tamil Nadu Education Minister. Her father has a snacks business and mother is a homemaker. She has just been placed in PwC accounting firm as a tech consultant. I now invite Kritika to welcome the gathering.
Greetings to one and all present here. I am extremely privileged to welcome all of you to this important moment of celebrating the 17th annual day of Sugun Thomas Foundation. We have all gathered at the annual day event of our foundation to celebrate our success, showcase our talents and be grateful for our fortunate blessings. A special welcome to our chief guest, Dr. Malini V. Shankar, for joining us on this auspicious occasion. I warmly welcome Sri Varaprasad Rao, IAS retired and MLA of Andhra Pradesh Assembly. Hearty welcome to all our benefactors and donors whose generosity has built this foundation. Nothing would have been possible without their contribution. Their endless commitments to this foundation has helped us reach where we are today. Dear mentors, you are so important in our journey and we especially honor and welcome you. It is because of your unconditional love, care and support that we have been able to achieve this success. I would like to welcome Father Thomas, Principal of Loyola College. I would also like to welcome all the other principals and the management of our partner schools and colleges. I extend a warm welcome to our guests and well-wishers, some of whom have joined us from different parts of the world via YouTube. It's a pleasure to welcome the alumni of Sugun Thomas Foundation, whose numbers are steadily growing. They are our role models and we are happy to see them here. Dear students, you are the most important members of Sugun Thomas Foundation and you and I are the reason for this joyous gathering. Hearty welcome to each one of you. Finally, a very warm welcome to the trustees and management committee members of Sugun Thomas Foundation. You are the strong pillars of this foundation and we welcome you. Hearty welcome to each one of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Kritika. That was a warm welcome. No story lives unless someone wants to listen. The stories we love the best will live in us forever. Let's now hear it from Srija, who is doing her BCom final year at Ethiraj College for Women. No journey is a cakewalk. No journey is filled with rubbles and stones either. I welcome Srija to share her life experiences.
Good evening to everyone present here. My name is Srija and I am pursuing a BCom degree in Ethiraj College for Women and simultaneously doing my compensatory course. My father is a civil laborer and mother is a housewife and I have one elder brother who is working. After completing my schooling from Madras Ayavasadan in 2020, I was waiting to join my dream college. But at the time, my dad lost his job due to the pandemic and the family situation became very bad. I come from a family where the daily needs are met by the daily wages of my father, and without his earning, we are struggling for a living. My brother was studying at college, he has to pay for his fees. During that time, my hobby helped me a lot. I used to put mehendi in my marriage events, and through that I earned some money and helped my family. Even though I got selected through merit, I wasn't able to join the college. I was so disappointed that my education could come to a close. Just at that moment of despair, I heard the joyous news that I had been selected for the scholarship in STF for doing well in my 12th grade. I was so happy. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. Yes, it's true. STF became the beam of promise and light for me and my family. They interviewed me and finally selected me for the scholarship, which paved my way to college. That's not all. STF has placed me in a safe hand of wonderful mentor, Sumita ma'am. So, a warm and wonderful person. She is my go-to person who gently stands by me through thick and thin. She is constantly motivating me and helping me to make the right decision for my career. Thank you, Sumita ma'am. Thanks to you, I realized the value of equipping myself with the necessary skills so that I added value to my degree. I am immensely grateful to STF for supporting me financially and helping me enroll in the Institute for Coaching for Company Secretaryship. Now, I have cleared my foundation in CS and currently doing my executive year. My last 3 years in STF have helped me a lot, whether it is in my career or personal life. I thank STF and Sugun ma'am for coming into my life and making me blossom as a flower. Thank you.
The best way out is always through. Thank you, Srija, for your awesome and inspiring story. Vision without action is merely a dream. Action without vision just passes the time. Vision with action will change everything. I take pleasure in inviting our secretary, Susan Thomas ma'am, to deliver the annual report of the foundation.
Good evening, everyone. It's so wonderful to see all of you here in person. It's really been an awful 2 years with the pandemic and so many in this room having gone through major losses. Not just of loved ones, but also financially, as Srija mentioned, and otherwise. Life has been tough. And more so for our dear children, who have admirably coped with all that they had to go through. A special welcome to our charming chief guest, Dr. Malini Shankar, who readily accepted our invitation in this festive season. She is very, very accomplished, both academically and in her career, and is a role model for all our children here. Very, very warm welcome to Sri Varaprasad Rao. We're so happy that you could drop in, even though it is, it was a short time we had to call you, but thank you so much for coming. And incidentally, Malini and Vara are...
and your brother.
And my brother are batchmates. For us at STF, this has been one of the busiest times since our inception. Let me take you through the salient features of the year gone by. First, the number of children. The total number we have sponsored overall is 348. Of these, 158 are boys and 190 are girls. Of this group, 102 are the current students and the rest alumni. Imagine having an alumni strength of 246. It really warms our hearts. Not just the pride we have in their success, but the fact that STF has helped, through the continuing efforts of the strong alumni, a large community of people that needed a leg up. And to continue on that note, I can't begin to tell you how thrilled we are with our alumni. They are in different parts of the world and in India, and some have come here too. Thank you so much for all of you for coming. Of course, we know that they have come from very challenging backgrounds, but they have overcome their difficulties and have not just managed but excelled. I want to specifically point out that we have donors among our alumni who have given back to the foundation. I want John to please stand. John has donated 50,000 rupees twice in a row. He is an All India 11th rank holder in CNA and has been working with the Chennai Petroleum Corporation for the last 5 years. He is an alumnus of Loyola College. We have mentors among our alumni like Mani, you will be hearing about him further, and Perisami. He is getting married in 3 days' time. And not only that, he has brought his fiancée to be a mentor with us. Seeing such commitment and cooperation from our loving alumni, we have formed an STF Alumni Association. The Alumni Association has already done many things, including having a robust community development program, which Mani, one of our most active alumni, will talk to you about. Sudakshana, our alumni head, must be beaming virtually. Now let me tell you about our current children. For the first time, we have gone outside Tamil Nadu to Bangalore. We have started a Bangalore chapter for STF, which was inaugurated in August under the leadership of Mr. Mervyn Raphael. Mervyn is now part of our management committee and we welcome him virtually. He has already quickly got us mentors and donations in these 2 months. More power to him. Let me give you a breakup of our 102 children. You may count about 80 over here because 20 of them are from outstation, from places like Salem, Namakkal, Pondicherry, Bangalore, etc. We have 45 doing engineering, 5 doing medicine, 7 in paramedical sciences, 1 in law. We have 2 lawyers already among our alumni, 1 in chartered accountancy, and 28 studying in arts and science colleges. 9 of our children are in +2. And I must tell you about the selection process. Gina, our selection head, Gina, meticulously goes and selects the children from the list that we receive from our partner schools or colleges and interviews each one of them and rounds off the selection with a family visit or a house visit, physically or virtually. We believe we have selected the most deserving children who have stars in their eyes and determination in their hearts. This year, we have done one more thing. You know, initially STF was founded to cater to only the very bright children who get above a certain grade and then we take them through college. But this year, we started a second stream. These children have not got the grade that STF needs, but are willing to go into vocational courses and other job-related courses. So STF has 6 such students and we are sure that they will excel with us, especially with the guidance of their mentors. What brings me to STF's USP, our mentoring program. We have 66 active mentors. And thanks to the introduction of virtual possibilities, 11 of our mentors are from abroad. Shashi, our mentoring head, is tireless in her enthusiasm. She has organized several programs for the children and the mentors. The children underwent training by Oracle Corporation led by Kamal Peter from December 21 to February 22 on various soft skills. The new mentors went through orientation programs. There was grief counseling conducted by psychologist Rachel Matthew for the children who lost one or both parents due to the pandemic or otherwise. Nearly 30 of our children benefited greatly from that. These programs were held one-on-one and through group therapy also. Rachel even held a meeting for the mentors of these children so that they could be equipped with dealing with any specific grief issues. Shashi held a physical mentor-mentee meet in March of this year to ensure the kids could meet their mentors physically. We had Mr. and Mrs. Ramani drive down from Bangalore just to meet their mentees. Such is the commitment of our beloved mentors. And we really thank you all so much. Thank you so much In September this year, there was a fascinating event for the children by the J team with plenty of fun and learning through outdoor activities. Shashi and Good Shepherd School, whose principal is sitting right here, have given so much to STF, and we really have no words of gratitude. Thank you. One extremely important aspect of STF is communication. Communication works for those who work at it. And for the last 2 years, we have had Ravi Shankar working at it. He has brought out 4 newsletters titled The Mentor and a mini annual report which are detailed and full of information on the happenings at STF. One of our children, Jay Chandran, did the entire designing of this. And Jay Chandran is quite a star otherwise also, studying at Meenakshi Engineering College. He has won numerous awards for extracurricular activities, including from the Chief Minister. We now have a vibrant presence in the social media. Our new website, LinkedIn page, Facebook page are all up, and we hope to add much content to it very soon. Ravi was also involved in communicating to the donors and giving them the profiles of the children that they support. Varghese, our treasurer, will give you the details of our new initiative, that is the donor mapping exercise, and also the important work done by yet another management committee member, Cherian, our head of delegations. Besides communication, another major portfolio which we do is placements. 16 of our children graduated in summer of 2022, and we really are, our theme is called Education to Employment. So until they are employed, our job is not done. So I'm happy to say out of the 16, 3 have gone in for higher studies with special courses, and some of them even doing coaching classes for civil services, while 13 of them have been placed. And they have been placed, will all those who have been placed please stand? They're not here, they're here. Yeah, okay. So we have them in companies such as Zoho Corporation, Harrington, ENY, ICICI Bank, Gavs Technology, etc. Ravi, with his rich HR background, spends time with these children before their placement season, helps them clarify their career aspirations. And of course, Shashi gave them a lovely virtual send-off in a valedictory function, which officially made them alumni of STF. So that is what we have done last year. And considering all of us on the management committee have our regular jobs, this was possible only because of 2 very important people. Shivagami, a very able and committed advocate, and our young and smart accountant, Rameshwari. Hats off to both of them for yet another year of dedicated service to STF. We are also grateful to Joy Foam Pvt Limited, where the STF office is located rent-free, and to Loyola College Management, who have given us this beautiful hall for our own use. So that's about all in my report. I want to say that the S of STF, my late husband Sugun, is the reason we exist. I remember telling the children who went through much despair over the loss of a loved one that STF started from despair. But look where we are today. I believe Sugun is watching over us and ensuring that we continue to grow and sustain. Many people have wondered how we have come this far, 17 years after his death. Initially there's a large group who feels very emotionally connected. But to sustain this for 17 years, it is really just the hard work and commitment and love of all his friends, of our trustees, of our management committee, and all the different people who have come to our aid at different points of time in our journey. And I'm very, very grateful for that. A lot of you present here have been donating, mentoring, coming to this annual day year after year, right from the very beginning. It's all that and God's abundant grace that has brought us thus far. And we are sure that He will lead us on further and further. Thank you all. But before I stop, I just want to read out some of the achievements of some of our students. I want to announce their names and I'd like them to please stand up. Mariam Afra, she was the school topper at Chennai Girls High Secondary School, Corporation School in Namakkal, and today she's doing her first year BCom at WCC. Shashmita K is also studying BCom. She was second at Chennai Girls High Secondary School in Harrington. Pooja Ramesh is studying BCom at WCC again. She is the school topper at Chennai Girls High Secondary School, Chetpet. Kokila D, who's doing her BCom at BG Vaishnav, is also the school topper at Government Girls High Secondary School, Vilivaka. And Gayatri, who's doing her CA, yes Gayatri, she is doing her CA at KS Academy. She's the topper, school topper at Good Hope Matriculation High Secondary School, Vilivaka. There are several of our children who have got awards, several of our alumni who are married, who have become parents, who have got promotions, have got salary rises. We are so grateful for all of them. You may please sit down. And we thank you all, and thank you so much for listening to my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Sugun ma'am. That was a wonderful report of success. I'm so glad to be part of the story. I now invite Mr. S. Manikandan from the Alumni Committee, who is a BTech IT software engineer, Bank of America Continuum of India, to share a few words about the role of wearing two caps, that of a mentor and an alumnus. He is an active member of Alumni Committee and a great mentor. It's really a pleasure to hear from him. Welcome, Mr. S. Manikandan.
Good evening, Honorable President. It's always a great privilege to be a part of yet another annual day with STF. I became part of STF as a beneficiary way back 13 years ago, 2019, when the light of hope in education changed my life. Having completed my engineering in BTech, I'm currently working in Bank of America, Indian Continuum. The relationship between the STF and the student does not end once the student passes out the college or when they settle with a good job. It takes another dimension, becoming a proud alumnus and brand ambassador of STF. The success of alumni reflects the success story of STF. Every year, our STF family grows by not just supporting more students, but also by the alumni. As ma'am mentioned, many of our alumni got married, many have become parents, and so our mentors become proud grandparents too. The alumni committee headed by Sudarshan ma'am has been formed to harness the strengths of all the alumni to contribute into the ripple effect. I would like to thank STF management and Sudarshan ma'am for this wonderful opportunity for us. We've successfully conducted our first get-together virtually last January and hoping to have it in the years to come in persons. I'd like to point out some of the initiatives that we do as part of Alumni Committee. CSR fundraising, community outreach program, and helping the passing out students of STF in placements. We have successfully conducted our first outreach program, highlighting the importance of education as a tool for transformation. We have met around 500 students from schools from students who are studying in 10th and 12th standard, from General Kariyappa School, Vadaparani, and Mary Clubwala Jadhav School, Egmore, who are coming from underprivileged backgrounds where parents have no education, and some are even victims of domestic abuse. Our main focus to ensure that these students should have a definite goal and to enlighten them with various opportunities that are available by sharing our stories to them. We will address these students on a regular basis to keep them motivated. There is more joy in giving than in receiving. The STF has given me all that it could, and this is my time to contribute in whatever possible way back to the STF. Those who spoke before me stressed the importance of mentoring in STF. I am lucky to have Mr. Varghese as my mentor, who is always there to guide and support me right from the day I joined this STF. Sir, I remember with much gratitude, and especially when I wear the cap of a mentor of 2 students. And this role as a catalyst is possible. I would like to thank all the STF members and sir for the belief, faith that they bestow upon me as a mentor. Finally, it was seeded, it's grown, it shows the fruit. Here, it is not a tree, it is we. And it is not seeded by nature, it is STF. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Manikandan, for those words of inspiration and motivation, which kindles us to have more responsibilities in the years to come. I would now like to call upon Mr. Verghese, the Treasurer of Sugun Thomas Foundation, to deliver his report on growth of the foundation.
Okay. Before I start the report, I'd like to give some background of the last couple of years. Susan and I started our stint as Treasurer and Secretary and Treasurer in 2 years back, which was in March 2021. So I would say STF at that time, we had just passed the first year of the pandemic, and we were kind of in crossroads. We actually did fairly well. We normally collect donations in the range of about 40 lakhs per annum. We were doing that for about 2 to 3 years, and due to the pandemic, we had appealed to a lot more people. We had collected about 50 lakhs. But student selection, if you ask me in general, and the number of mentors we had, etc., it was only about 25 to 30 students per year we were taking, and our uptake in terms of expenses was about 25 to 26 lakhs per year. So this was typically around where Susan and I took over the organization, and then we had to ask ourselves an internal question: where are we taking STF? So are we going to take this much further, or should we continue as it is? And then we felt that, what really made a decision, that we took a decision based on actually just the children, right? So we just looked at what we had achieved and how the students and children that we had provided for have really benefited, and especially the alumni. And we saw where they were going, and we thought that we are onto something really good here, and we should continue this good work, and not just continue it. Why don't we take the next step? And why don't we just push it the next notch? So, based on that decision, we did a few things. I just want to clarify to everybody here that no decision all policy is made by the trustees. So anytime we want to make any policy in STF, we have 7 trustees. Some of them are here, some of them are joining us virtually. And all policies are then put across to a vote, and then only those policies are made. And the management committee, which conducts the day-to-day or month-to-month business of STF, cannot do anything outside this policy. This is just for you all to understand the transparency and how the general processes work. But at that point of time when we started, when we were at the beginning of the financial year 21-22, and we decided that let's take the next step, and we decided to form a management committee, and that's whom Susan has introduced many of them. Ravi, Shashi, Sudakshana, Gina, etc. And I'm coming to the one, and we divided our roles. We also did another thing. We also took up a lot of effort into converting all the efforts that we take into processes, and we started monitoring them on a weekly basis. Every week we would have a meeting, and we actually started meeting the management committee members every month. Now let me just I'm just trying to take you through a little bit of the journey. So we took a goal: why don't we jump from 25 students to 100 students, and what does it take? And that was a big ask, right? We're talking of 300% growth, 4 times. And the first thing, of course, it is, can we mentor, right? So Shashi was on the mentoring. The most important problem is, can we fund it, right? So we're going to fund 100 children, how are we going to fund it? So we started from the funding side. So all of us, the entire management committee, brainstormed over Zoom because we were still in the pandemic. And we went through all the donor data that we had, and we came up with a couple of observations. One was our individual donors, many of you who are watching or are here, have been steadily with us, contributing a steady amount, which is almost 50%. So about 20 lakhs on an average is contributed by individual donors on a regular basis. They've been doing this for several years, this is good. And we had a few corporate donors, corporate donors in the range of about another 20-25 lakhs. And we realized that if we want to make a sudden jump, the only way to get it is to go back to the corporates, because it was very difficult to start thinking of how to get another 100 individual donors to get 20 or 25 lakhs more. So there was a joint decision taken, and we started approaching a lot more. Even our existing corporate donors, we started asking them, can you give us more from your CSR funding? We tried to get in new corporate donors. These were some of the decisions. And let me now here introduce the star of this, and who's heading the donor division, that's Cherry Abraham. He was I took over as treasurer, but it's his commendable job that he has done for us, and I'll show you the results. So from there, we also obviously went back and saw if we could get back more from our individual donors. Some of the other things we did was we revamped the website, the social media with Ravi, our communication head, and we even allowed for online payment on the website. So you could donate online, it's still available online, although our percentage of online payment is extremely low, and most of our payment comes directly by wire transfer or checks into the organization. That was one part of the decision. The next decision we said was, we will not use any money from donation for admin purposes. Every pie that is donated from the entire set of donors, whether it's corporate or individual, will be directly given to students, right? So the plan that we came up with was, all admin expenses, that is the salary of the two employees that we have, expenses for events like the annual day, etc., would be borne. Anything that is not related to the children's actual expenses, like fees or anything directly like their some tuition, etc., everything else would be borne by the interest. So STF had about 1.25 crores in the corpus funds. It's generating about 6 lakhs of interest. So we said we would use it from that. So I recompiled the accounts, the fixed deposits, and created a new account and pushed all the corpus funds into there, and that's generating about 6 lakhs. And the balance amount what we need for that would only be taken from trustees. So trustees, we will not use a single pie from anybody other than from any of the donors for admin, right? So that was the second point that one more guideline for us to work on. So the other thing was, we went through this and we started monitoring this entire process very carefully, and let me tell you the results. So the first thing was, donations for the year 21-22 grew from 53 lakhs to 80 lakhs, which is a 40% growth. Thank you, Joy. Corporate donors in this, I was discussing, grew by 66%, and individual donors grew by 20%. Apart from this, one of Sugun's classmates through Rotary Club has contributed 40 laptops to the children. So apart from that, last year in 21-22, fees which we were paying on an average of 25 lakhs per year went up to 75 lakhs. So now you can imagine where the movement. We also provided mobile phones and SIM cards SIM cards with data because most of the colleges and schools went online. We provided mobile phones and data SIM cards to all the students too. They all still get it every year. Other events which we funded as part of this was also some we would have mentor-mentee meetings. We have multiple meetings with students. In Good Shepherd, Shashi would hold, mentor head would hold some more activities for students, and we had some English speaking classes. Some of them were pro bono, some of them were sponsored, or like things like tea and other things, and short eats had to be provided. So we funded all that too, along with this in the admin expenses. So admin expenses came up to 7.2 lakhs in 21-22. Apart from that, we have, you may all know, just to reiterate, we have CSR and ATG registration for STF, and they are valid up to 23-24. So where you will refile for the next. For last year, for 21-22, the IT has been filed, and I have to thank our auditors, Moti, Philip and Co. They have been doing this work pro bono for the last 17 years. And you know how chartered accountants are just totally grateful for the kind of effort they've been putting. He advises us on every small bit, takes us through, because there's a lot, we have to be very careful as a trust. We cannot, the government is very strict these days. In fact, we even considered going for FCRA, but we didn't. And the trustees took a decision not to, because we were a little worried about how difficult it would be to manage all the books for the government. So we decided against that, but I must say that thank you, Moti, and your company for supporting Sugun Thomas through the last 17 years. It's been amazing. That kind of sums up approximately, so we spent what we did in 21-22. So in this year, and I probably will give the report for this current financial year next year, but I want to tell you that the decision was taken to grow the organization another 25%. So that's to move to 125 students. We're still in the process of selecting. Every year the treasurer also has one job to be done in the beginning, that is to understand, to project what will be the donations and expenses, and then to provide a budget to the selection committee for how many new students you can take. So this year we allocated 25 lakhs additional for that. Right? So the good news is this year, but we expect student fees to go up to 90 lakhs this year. So most of the amount, and we hope to collect 1 crore of donations this year. We continue to need all your support for this. So far we have disbursed 58 lakhs of rupees towards student fees this year. And we are expecting admin expenses to be around 7 to 8 lakhs again this year, maybe a little bit more. We'll know by the end of the year. I want to specifically thank some of our largest donors, because without whom we just couldn't do this. And the real beneficiaries, although we are just the facilitators, the real beneficiaries are these students. Sundaram Fasteners, you upped the game for us in the last 2 years. It's directly shown in those children over there. So it's they just upped their game by almost 150%, 200%, and thank you for it. We also have to thank Aditya Krishna of Saxoft through his company 360 Monica, who really gave us up the game again. Also BSNB Containers, who's been our patron for several years. We also had Ravi Shankar himself is a great donor, thank you very much. Ashok Alexander, Akshara Charitable Trust. Many of the new donors we got were through Ravi, contacts of Ravi. Thank you, Ravi, for helping us in achieving where we are. I'd like to, Sanjay, I see you just came in. Sanjay Abuja there, if you could just lift your hand up. He's Sugun's classmate. He's the one who helped us get 40 laptops for the children. It's a huge amount. 40 laptops comes to about 10 lakhs of rupees, and our students are the beneficiaries. So you are also one of our largest contributors for last year. Thank you so much. We also have a couple of more donors like Core Competence, Unify Foundation, and of course all the individual donors who continue to support us. Thank you very much. We couldn't have done this without you, and we hope to continue doing this. And every year, the annual day, we hope you see the students and the direct benefit of where your donation is coming. So please keep it coming, and you'll see more of them there. That's about it from me. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Those are exemplary reports, which are huge milestones for the upcoming years. I now call upon Jay, who is doing her BTech IT second year at Lizard. She did her schooling in St. Aloysius. I now invite her to welcome and introduce the chief guest of the day.
Good evening, everyone. I am elated to introduce our esteemed and honorable chief guest of the day, Dr. Malini V. Shankar. Dr. Malini V. Shankar is the Vice Chancellor at Indian Maritime University. She has a doctorate in public policy, institutional economics from IIT Chennai and a management graduate from the Asian Institute at Management in Manila. She has a master's in chemistry from Mount Holyoke College in Massachusetts, the United States, and did her graduation from WCC Chennai. Dr. Malini V. Shankar has had a distinguished career in the Indian Administrative Service, spanning more than 3 decades, working both in the policy realm and in the field. Her primary tasks have been in the industries of energy and water. She served as Maharashtra government's Additional Chief Secretary prior to her current position. Her previous positions include those of Collector of Nagpur District and Commissioner of Industries. Her primary focus in each of her postings has been on the adoption of technology, contemporary management methods, and as well as citizen-friendly initiatives. Her work on the Maharashtra Sujal Nirmal Abhiyan, the Integrated River Basin Plan for the Godavari Basin, and the E-Jal Seva are among her most notable achievements in the water sector. Dr. Malini V. Shankar has received a number of academic honors, including the National Merit Scholarship from the Government of India, the Phi Beta Kappa Scholarship for Higher Education, and the CIDA Scholarship for Management Studies. We are indeed very honored to have you amidst us, ma'am. I would now like to invite the chief guest to give her address.
Good evening, everybody. Dear trustees of the Sugun Thomas Foundation, members of the management committee, the mentors, my young friends here, the family of Sugun Thomas and Susie Thomas, a special mention of the Honorable Member of the Legislative Assembly of Andhra Pradesh and my good friend, Mr. Prasad Rao. And thank you so much for that exalted introduction. It's my pleasure and privilege to be here, and I would like to thank Susan for having invited me as a chief guest. Very, very inspiring to see the efforts that have been taken by Susan Thomas and her team in the foundation, despite the adversities that they have faced in the initial years. Today, we have witnessed 2 young, are you alumni or students? Students who were exemplary in their introduction of the program itself. The level of, I was very, very impressed with them. I don't think I could have, at your stage, I don't think I could get up to a podium and even speak the few words that you did. And I still have butterflies in the stomach when I face an audience. So when I asked Susan, so how many people will be there? She said, about 80 students. So I didn't expect the others to be here to test my, I feel very tested. So I think it's probably, and I'm sure it is to the merit of the foundation and all the people involved to actually, bring them to this standard and give them the confidence. I also heard some of the students explain or, share their experience on how they benefited from the SDF, and it's exemplary, where they must have, I don't know how they started, but I'm sure it was not at this level. So I can imagine the graph that they have had over the last 2 or 3 years with the support of the foundation. It's also, I do know how difficult it is to run a trust. So very often what happens in the administration of a trust is that the focus shifts from the original purpose of providing education, supporting the students, supporting the beneficiaries, to a lot of administrative work which is called for by the various authorities of the government. I've been long enough in government to know what it means and the pain points that you have from time to time. So a special word commending the efforts of the foundation to be patient and work this through and to sustain it for 17 years. Like Ms. Thomas said in her report, it is a lot of enthusiasm. It's not just the empathy, but it's a lot of enthusiasm with which everybody starts something. But to sustain it is one of the most challenging tasks in any institution, and that too a trust. So I think my felicitation to you and your team and everybody who's involved in the foundation. Now mentors. Now I have been called upon to mentor a few students. I know how difficult the task is. You think it's easy, you think you just have to sit down with the students and encourage them. No, I think there's a structure to it, there is a passion to it, you bring a lot of other aspects to it, and I think to have 66 mentors, you said, is something again extremely commendable, and it is to the credit of the mentors that the efforts have been sustained and the students have been benefited. I think the treasurer, Mr. Vatki, spoke about auditors, and he said, you know how auditors are. We all know, especially when it comes to income tax, we all know how auditors are. With whatever I've heard in the last half an hour or 1 hour, I think one of your alumni is going to soon replace those auditors and do what it requires, so you don't even have to worry about auditors. So, in all humility, what I have felt in the last half an hour is that I have achieved so little compared to what the mentors have achieved, to what the students and the alumni have achieved, and to what the foundation itself has achieved. I think my achievements are very insignificant when I look at the larger picture where you start. Like was mentioned in the report, they're starting a second stream, which means you don't pick up the best and run them and guide them through. You'll have a second stream which will be looking at vocational education and picking up from not among the best. And now, dear students, you are all beneficiaries. You have been selected by a process, and it's a huge opportunity for you to be part of this special program. Congratulations to each of you for not only having been selected, for having topped some of the institutions, to have got into some of the best institutions in the city and the state. There was WCC, there's SSN Engineering College, there is, and people going, and also the alumni. Hats off to you. You have a very, very bright future ahead. So, a few words, if at all, I think you're getting excellent guidance from the mentors. I don't think I can add much to it, but since I'm here, maybe I will share a few things. I think there'll be 4 C's that I thought of that I will share with you. Model on the confidence. So, in the students, confident I never realized that there were students. That's why I asked whether they're students or alumni. Everything is about confidence today. And Tannambikkan சொல்லுவாங்க நம்மளுக்கு முடியுமா முடியாதா பண்ண முடியுமா பண்ண முடியாதான்னு அப்பப்போ நம்ம மனசுல ஒரு டவுட் வரும். அந்த டவுட்டை தள்ளி வச்சிருங்க. ஏன்னா நீங்க செலக்ட் ஆயிருக்கீங்க. இப்போ இவங்க ஒரு ப்ராசஸ் யூஸ் பண்ணி செலக்ட் பண்ணி உங்களை இது வரைக்கும் கொண்டு வந்திருக்காங்க. அதனால இந்த டவுட் உங்க மனசுல வரவே கூடாது. முடியுமா முடியாதான்னு. அதுதான் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஹர்டில் டு many things. So develop that confidence, develop that self confidence. And you say, okay, நான் இந்த இடத்துலேருந்து வந்திருக்கேன், நான் தமிழ் மீடியத்தில் படிச்சிருக்கேன், நான் இது பண்ண முடியுமா, அதெல்லாம் every time you will have this doubt. But இன்னைக்கு நீங்கள் டெவலப்மெண்ட்ஸ் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா, even the UPSC, civil service exam எழுதுறவங்க கூட, once upon a time they came from convents, they came from the best of English medium colleges and universities, and they were topping. இப்போ நீங்கள் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா, பேப்பர் படிச்சீங்கன்னா, you will find that they are coming from different strata. ஒரு அப்பப்போ சொல்லுவாங்க குடிசையில் வந்து ஒரு லேண்டர்ன் வச்சுட்டு ஒரு பிராந்தில் வச்சுட்டு படிச்சுட்டு வந்தாங்க. ஆனால் இப்போ அந்த டிட்டர்மினேஷனோட கான்ஃபிடென்ஸோட they have cleared the exam. So you have to be inspired by such stories. எங்கள் அப்பாவோட கதையை சொல்கிறேன். We may be privileged today, but my father grew up in a village. He studied in a board school in Tamil medium. Tamil mediumல படிச்சுட்டு then he went to a English medium university in Chennai. அங்கே படிச்சுட்டு then he got selected for a scholarship to do research in physics in France. ஸோ அவர் வந்து தமிழ் மீடியம், இங்கிலீஷ் மீடியம், ஃப்ரெஞ்ச் மீடியம் மூணுத்தையும் எக்ஸல் பண்ணார். Basically, you have to have the confidence. Talent கொஞ்சம் இருக்கணும், but talent alone is not enough. You need இந்த மாதிரி mentorship, யாராவது encourage பண்ணுறது, அப்புறம் நம்மளோட confidence. That's the first C. Second C is commitment. So commitment இருக்கணும். இப்போ கிடைச்சாச்சு, கொஞ்சம் நான் ரிலாக்ஸ் பண்ணலாம் அப்படி இருந்துட்டா கொஞ்சம் கொஞ்சமாக சரிஞ்சு போயிடும். ஸோ கமிட்மெண்ட்டாக இருக்கணும். நான் இவங்க வந்து என் பேரில் நம்பிக்கை வச்சு இது வரைக்கும் கொண்டு வந்திருக்காங்க. ஸோ இப்போ வந்து நான் கமிட்டடாக ஐ ஹவ் டு பி கமிட்டட் டு த காஸ் வாட் எவர் ஐ டேக் அப். ஸோ ஏனோ தானோன்ட்டு சும்மா சூப்பர்ஃபிஷியலாக பண்ணால் கொஞ்சம் கஷ்டம் வரும். ஸோ தட்ஸ் த செகண்ட் திங். இந்த கமிட்மெண்ட் இல்லை. ஒரு எக்ஸாம்பிள் நான் கொடுக்கணும்னா ஒரு கமிட்மெண்ட்டோட எக்ஸாம்பிள் கொடுங்கன்னு கேட்டால், இப்போ நீங்கள் ஐ டோன்ட் நோ வெதர் யூ பீன் வாட்சிங் சம் ஆஃப் தி ஸ்போர்ட்ஸ் இவெண்ட்ஸ். சவுத் ஏஷியன் கேம்ஸ் இருக்குது, இப்போ ரீசெண்டாக நேஷ்னல் கேம்ஸ் இருந்தது. அதில் வந்து if you see the winners and their stories, I would really strongly suggest that you read those stories because in my opinion they've been the most inspiring stories that I've read. ஒவ்வொருத்தரும் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா அவங்க வந்து வீட்டில் சாப்பாடு கூட இருக்காது, 7 பசங்க இருப்பாங்க. மேரி கோம்லேருந்து எடுத்துக்கோங்க, பட் மேரி கோம் இப்போ ஒரு லெவலுக்கு வந்தாச்சு. அவங்க மாதிரி மேரி கோம் யாருன்னு தெரியுமா? ஸோ அவங்க வந்து ஒரு குட்டி ஊரில் ஏதோ ஒரு இடத்துல வந்தாங்க. ஆனால் நான் பாக்ஸிங் பண்ணணும்னு சொல்லிட்டு அவங்க அப்பா கிட்ட சொல்லிட்டு, அப்போல்லாம் பாக்ஸிங் லேடிஸ் எல்லாம் பாக்ஸிங் பண்ணணும்னா அதெல்லாம் கூடாதுன்னு தான் சொல்லுவாங்க. மென் பாக்ஸிங்கே கூடாதுன்னு சொல்லுவாங்க, லேடிஸ் எப்படி விடுவாங்க. பட் அவ்வளோ கமிட்டடாக வந்து தான் வேணும்னு கமிட்டடாக மேலுக்கு வந்திருக்காங்க. ஐ வுட் ஸ்ட்ராங்லி என்கரேஜ் யூ டு ரீட் சம் ஆஃப் தீஸ் ஸ்போர்ட்ஸ் ஸ்டோரிஸ் ஆஃப் ஸ்போர்ட்ஸ் பீப்புள், ஸ்போர்ட்ஸ் அச்சீவர்ஸ். ஒவ்வொன்றும் ஒரு இன்ஸ்பைரிங் ஸ்டோரி. எங்கேருந்து வந்தாங்க, எப்படி தன்னம்பிக்கையோடு இருந்தாங்க, எப்படி ஃபெயிலியர்ஸ் எல்லாம் வராமல் இருக்கவே இருக்காது ஒரு கரியரில், ஒரு லைஃப்பில். அந்த ஃபெயிலியர்ஸ் எல்லாம் எப்படி அதை ஃபேஸ் பண்ணி அதை ஓவர் கம் பண்ணாங்க, அதெல்லாம் இட்ஸ் வெரி இன்ஸ்பைரிங். Third C is concept. Unfortunately, let me be very frank, the kind of education systems we have, it is very exam oriented. இதை படிங்க, கிளாஸ் ரூமில் போய் இது நான் நோட்ஸ் கொடுக்குறேன், இதை படிங்க, இதுதான் மாடல் கொஸ்டின் பேப்பர்ஸ், இது வந்துடும், then you write the exam and go. Now there is if you ask the industry, and I have to share this again from what industry shares with me, அவங்க கேட்டால் அவங்க சொல்கிறாங்க, இப்போ engineering graduates ஒரு 10-20 வருஷம் முன்னாடி 17% தான் they were employable. So there is a difference between unemployment and employability. Unemploymentனா வேலை இல்லாதவங்க எவ்வளோக்கு, எம்ப்ளாயபிலிட்டினா வேலை இருக்கு ஆனால் அதுக்கு தகுதி இல்லாதவங்க எவ்வளோங்க. ஸோ employability is a much more serious problem than unemployment in the country today. ஸோ இப்போ சொல்கிறாங்க engineering graduates 7% தான் employable. அது ஏன் அப்படி இருக்குன்னா, நம்ம படிக்கிறது வந்து இட்ஸ் only for classroom, exam and marks, rank and job. But okay, that is important. In the Indian context, it is important. But அதுக்கு மேலே you have to develop some perspective. ஒரு படிப்புக்கு மேலே நம்மளுக்கு என்ன வேணும், ஒரு லைஃப்பில் ஒரு சக்சீட் பண்ணுறதுக்கு, otherwise even in a job சக்சீட் பண்ணுறதுக்கு marks alone are not enough. There is concept புரியுதான்னு பார்த்துக்கணும். And that is where your mentors will be very, very helpful because sometimes you understand. For example, maths படிக்கிறவங்களுக்கு, I can give you this example. Classல maths எடுக்கும்போது calculus படிக்கும்போது they will say dy by dx of x is 1, dy by dx of x squared is 2x. அவ்வளோதானே படிப்பீங்க. அது எக்ஸாமில் போய் dy by dx of x squared எவ்வளோன்னு கேட்பாங்க, 2x போட்டு you get full marks. But dy by dx கான்செப்ட் என்னன்னு புரிய வைக்கிறதுக்கு you need somebody to tell you. அது புரிஞ்சிச்சுன்னா உங்களுக்கு வந்து மேலே போக எத்தனை கஷ்டமாக இருந்தால் கூட you will be able to understand. This is just example of mathematics. This example holds good for H2 plus O2 is equal to 2H2O. It holds good for history, geography, எல்லாத்துக்கும். Conceptually, what is the concept? And once you understand that, எதை வேணா crack பண்ணலாம். So please focus on the concept. There are a couple more things is soft skills. இப்போ வந்து வேலைக்கு போகும்போது the most important thing they ask for is you have communication skills. Communication skillsனா clarity of thought and expression இருக்கா. எந்த பாஷை சில பேர் சொல்றாங்க நான் இங்கிலீஷ்ல படிக்கல மேடம் அதனால எனக்கு வந்து இங்கிலீஷ்ல பேச முடியாது. நான் சொல்லுவேன் நான் மகாராஷ்டிராவில் வேலை பண்ணேன் அங்கே லாங்குவேஜ் வந்து மராட்டி. சரி நீங்கள் இங்கிலீஷில் சொல்லவே தேவையில்லை எல்லாம் இங்கிலீஷ் மீடியம்னு ஒன்றும் கிடையாது நீங்கள் மராட்டியில் சொல்லுங்கன்னா அதுலேயும் கொஞ்சம் தத்தளிப்பாங்க. ஸோ இட்ஸ் நாட் த லாங்குவேஜ் விச் இஸ் அ பேரியர், இட் இஸ் யுவர் கான்செப்ட், how you understand the concepts and how you have a clarity of thinking and expressing both written and oral. இது இருந்ததுன்னா I can guarantee no matter what your background, no matter what your rank, you will find success in your job. That is and பேப்பர் படிக்கிறீங்களா? எத்தனை பேர் பேப்பர் படிக்கிறீங்க? நியூஸ் பேப்பர். See, this is a big issue in today's world because we all go to cell phone, Google மாமா, Google என்ன சொல்றாரோ அதான். Google இல்லாட்டா வாட்ஸ்அப் யூனிவர்சிட்டின்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. அது எல்லாம் okay, we cannot ignore social media today, okay? That is a fact. You get lots of information there. But student இருக்கும்போது மேலே போகிறதுக்கு please forget that for a moment. அது சும்மா entertainment, okay? It's like seeing a movie. இப்போ சினிமா பார்த்தீங்கன்னா it's not that சினிமாவில் பார்க்குறது எல்லாம் நிஜம்னு சொல்ல முடியாது இல்லை. நிஜத்தை பார்த்து கொஞ்சம் சினிமா எடுக்கிறாங்க, சினிமாவை பார்த்தும் கொஞ்சம் நிஜமாக பண்ணுறாங்க, okay? But you can't put your faith in the cinema. That's just part of the entertainment and இருந்தால் தான் உங்களுக்கு affect ஆகாமல் மிச்சம் எல்லாம் பண்ண முடியும். அதே மாதிரி social media also you should consider it an entertainment. So Google பார்த்துட்டு concepts புரிஞ்சிக்கலாம். But how you use that is very important. See, some of the online concepts are very, very clear. Even I go online and say, if I don't understand certain things, I do go there. But don't go only Googling because report எழுதுறதெல்லாம் நான் பார்க்குறேன். சில பேர் சும்மா கூகுளில் கட் பேஸ்ட் பண்ணிட்டு எழுதுறாங்க. You can pass the exam, but you won't acquire the skills that is necessary in the future. And the last one, and paper படிங்க because that's where I started. இன்னிக்கும் நான் ஒரு நாளைக்கு என்னோட அடிக்ஷன் என்னன்னா reading a newspaper and I read 4 newspapers a day. It helps me இன்னிக்கும் ஒரு புதுசாக கற்றுக்கிறது இல்லாட்டா உலகத்தில் என்ன நடக்கிறதுன்ட்டு தெரிஞ்சுக்கிறது. உலகம் could be your immediate உலகம் or it can be the whole உலகம். பட் அது தெரிஞ்சுட்டு அது ஏன்னா வேலை பண்ணும்போது கூட நீங்கள் இப்போ அலுமினி டைஸ் நாங்கள் பிடபிள்யூசியில் இருக்காங்க, அமெரிக்கன் எக்ஸ்பிரஸில் இருக்காங்க, அமெரிக்கன் பேங்க்கில் இருக்காங்க, அந்த மாதிரி. பட் இஃப் யூ ஆஸ்க் தெம் இஃப் தே ஸ்டிக் only to supposing I'm an IT expert and I do only coding and decoding, then you are stuck with coding and decoding for life. You want to become a team leader, you want to go up na உங்களை சுற்றி உலகங்கிறது it could be your அந்த கம்பெனியில் என்ன நடக்கிறது அதுவும் உலகம். அதை சுற்றி என்ன நடக்கிறது மேலே போக போக கவர்மெண்ட் பாலிசி என்ன இருக்குன்னு தெரிஞ்சால் தான் உங்களுக்கு வந்து அந்த அதுபடியாக எப்படி இம்ப்ரூவ் பண்ண முடியும்னு சொல்லுங்கள். So this is, I would, another suggestion I would give is read the newspaper, start with what you're comfortable with, any language, whatever language you're comfortable with. And online போய் படித்தா கூட ஆன்லைன் நியூஸ்பேப்பர் கூட படிக்கணும். And the last one, see is constant learning. ஒரு படிக்கிறதுக்கு ஆர்வம் மட்டும் இல்லை, ஆர்வம் இஸ் the right word that I can think of in Tamil. படிக்கிறதுக்கு ஒரு ஏக்கமும் இல்லை. ஆர்வம் is something ஏக்கம் கூட thirst for knowledge. எந்த படிப்பாக இருந்தாலும் இட்ஸ் தியரி ஓகே ஆஃப் உங்கள் படிப்புக்கு, பட் அதுக்கு மேலே போய் ஒரு ஆர்வம் கற்றுக்கிறதுக்கு. The most successful people I find and the people who are happiest, சக்ஸஸ் விட்டுருங்க, ரொம்ப ஹாப்பியாக இருக்கிறவங்க they are the ones who are actually learning and learning allows you to contribute. அதனால இதை படிப்பு முடிச்சாச்சு இப்போ நான் புத்தகத்தை க்ளோஸ் பண்ணுறேன் அப்படி இல்லை. இந்த ஃபவுண்டேஷன் வந்து உங்களுக்கு ஒரு அடிக்கல் கொடுத்துருக்கு. ஃபவுண்டேஷன் that is being given, அது ஒரு நல்ல வாய்ப்பு. அந்த வாய்ப்பை யூஸ் பண்ணி நீங்கள் அதை லெவரேஜ் பண்ணி எங்கே வேணால் போக முடியும். And I think that is where the foundation will find its success and they will through you, they'll be living through you basically. Before I end, just 1 or 2 words. Never forget where you came from. Never forget to be grateful for what the foundation, your parents, your family and God has given you. This is something we forget. As you grow older, you'll find the most important sentiment of your life is gratitude. If you have that gratitude, things will open up for you. And remain humble. I read somewhere that, what is the most difficult thing in life, and what is a job that is most difficult to get. One of the things, I don't remember the exact wording, it said the most difficult thing is to be a good human being. And ultimately, that is what you will be. Your soul and heart has to be happy. You can achieve anything you want. You can get money, you can get wealth, but to be happy, you have to have that humility, you have to have that gratitude, and you have to have the art of giving. And since Mr. Varaprasad is here, I have to end by acknowledging that example of, I have to feel grateful because I lost my father young, and my mother was alone, and I was a collector in Nagpur district. And I remember he's the one who actually took my mother to the doctor, took my mother to the hospital. And sometimes they felt he is the son and I am just somebody sitting in Nagpur. And he would take them to, Auntie Varingla, I'll take you to this place, I'll take you to that place. So, I mean, these are small things. And our MLA irundhude, MP irundhude, enna pannarunnu I don't know. But enga amma appa enna pannarunnu enikku theriyum. So that is the personal relationship and your gratitude and the hallmark of a human being, good human being. So aspire to be a good human being. That's the highest aspiration you can have. I thank the foundation, the members, and Susan for having given me this opportunity to share a few words. Thank you very much and wish you the best for the future.
Thank you, ma'am, for your thought-provoking insights. Confidence, commitment, constant learning. Yeah, those are the leveraging tools. Sure, ma'am, will be grateful to what we are now and what we will be in our future.
As students, we are often worried about what next and how to make our career choices as a civil, especially the civil services. So we will be having a short Q&A session now. So before going to the students, I have a personal question. How did you decide to make a civil service as your career?
This is the question that you expect when you go for a UPSC interview. And everybody has a standard answer. I want to serve the country. Okay, so now, when I was in 10th standard, I thought, I had a classmate whose father was in the IAS, and I thought what he was doing was so exciting. So I said, it was there at the back of my mind. I kept getting scholarships, and my father said, science arts my favorite was geography, but he said, no, you do science. I was very good at taking exams. That was my strength. Okay. So then when I was studying in the US, one fine day, I asked myself whether I want to live in the US or whether I want to live in India. And my heart told me I have to live in India. My mind also told me I was not a very good researcher, let me be very frank. That is one thing, you have to realize your own strengths and weaknesses. You have to, just because பக்கத்து வீட்டில் வந்து அவங்க engineering பண்றாங்க, எதிர் வீட்டில் IT பண்ணிட்டு 10 லட்சம் வாங்குறாங்க, don't fall for that. You have to ask yourself at a certain point, what is my strength, what do I want to do? மாசத்துல 10,000 கொடுத்தா கூட am I happy with it? That is my strength. So that was my strength. I said I want to be in government service. So I came back and fortunately cleared the exam easily. So.
Thank you, ma'am. Is there any more questions from the
I have.
Good evening, ma'am. I'm Hashida. I'm doing BCom General from Stella Maris College, final years. And your speech was like mind-blowing, ma'am. You said about the 4 C's. It was like, wow. I felt like super thing. And I'm an IAS aspirant, ma'am. Your speech gave me the confidence to communicate about the concept. Yes, ma'am. So my question is, what are the qualities other than these 4 C's required to become successful in your career?
As I said, you have to take up what you like. Or there are 2 options. You say, I want to take up, this is what I like, I take that up as a career. Or I've taken this, not everybody has that privilege. Some of them are forced to take something because of circumstances. Then you have to learn to like it. But in either case, you have to like what you're doing. You can't say, okay, I'm doing this as part of a job, ஏதோ ஒரு livelihood வந்துட்டு ஏதோ சம்பளம் வந்துட்டு. You can't do that. You have to like what you do. You have to keep learning constantly. That is why constant learning is one thing. And if you are in a field which deals with human beings like the IS, I think it will be communication as well as human relationships. You have to be sensitive to people's needs. Corporate sector, so if you are reading the news, again you should read the news. There is one news about one company. It will be very unfair to name the company. It's a startup and it's very high aspirational startup. But they are saying that the people are working in a toxic environment. So companies, if you don't have a human element coming in, there is a problem. But if you are a researcher, and that's why I said I was not a good researcher, I prefer being with people. Research, you have to be committed to, you don't need those communication skills except written ones. And you need to have a talent for that research. But if you say overall, I would say a passion for whatever you are doing is the ultimate. You cannot fail if you have that passion and an empathy for human beings, which will, it's one part is your profession, the other part is your person. You combine the two, you'll be fine.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Are there any more questions?
Good evening, ma'am. I'm Manikandan, doing my computer science engineering in Royal College of Engineering and Technology. My question is in two parts. I had a dream of becoming a civil servant, but because of my family situation, right now I'm forced to go to a job. Can I still pursue the dream of becoming a civil servant? And my second part of the question is, can we continue our education after going to a job?
After?
Going to a job. Why going to a job?
Both, absolute yes. No problem at all. You can definitely, I think the upper age limit is quite high nowadays. It's about 30 plus, so there is no reason why you cannot aspire to be civil servant after working out for a few years or so. And the second thing is, I'm a standing example of studying even after entering the civil service. Civil service enter pandradhukku you need a minimum qualification, which is just a bachelor's. But I did my PhD while I was secretary to the government of Maharashtra. So there is simply no hurdle to education if you are determined to do it. And then actually, I would say from that respect, so far the government has been the most benevolent employer, because they do allow officers to take time out to study.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Any more questions?
Yes, guys, the floor is open. You can ask your questions. Are there any more questions? Fine then.
Thank you.
Yeah, ma'am. Last question. Looking back at your career path, who or what has been most influential for you in succeeding your career? Or maybe it might be who is your role model?
My role model. I don't have role models. It's something I have asked myself. But if you say who was the most supportive, it is my parents and my husband. I think if not for my husband, I had to keep moving around, and he sacrificed his job to move around with me. So I think if at all closest to role model, it's that. But if you ask me who is my inspiration, I would say without faith, it is Mother Nature. There's a lot to learn from Mother Nature.
That's amazing. Thank you so much, ma'am, for igniting our minds and hearts with your response. I hope that each and everyone takes it to heart and follows your advice. Yeah.
I have just volunteered myself to say a few words because I am meeting the family, particularly Mrs. Sugun, almost after 17 years. In fact, I have come here only to see her children, that is, Sugun Thomas children. Unfortunately, I'm not able to see them. Thanks to Malini, she also has inspired me. We together entered into the service. One went to, uncle's son went to Assam, she went to Maharashtra. I'm from Andhra to Tamil Nadu. So that day, the fateful day, the very tragic death has taken place. I hope you won't mind it if I take you back to 17 years. Susan's brother was not here. He was doing his civil service there in Assam. So I remember the uncle who is Susan's father, literally our parents to me as well, and Susan is like an younger sister to me. That was such a tragic death that just can't, I'm not able to recollect. But I don't want to even to recollect that. It's whole night I was in the body. There were too many complications to that because the municipal authorities, they want to have lots of formalities and all that, and the postmortem and several things. And unfortunately, uncle and myself overcame that. At the time, I was wondering how Susan will cope up to life. That's what I want to share here. I was really wondering, such a young lady, two young children. And I was really wondering how she will cope up with the life in the absence of her husband. Susan, you are really an inspiration to me. Although I'm much elder to you. Usually, in a setup like this, when you lose your support, particularly the husband, many people will feel as if the whole life is lost. But you're a person where we have to learn from you is how to cope up with the life with so much of courage, really. So I'm always reminded of the statement or sentence, the life expands or shrinks in proportion to one's own health, one's own courage. Susan has enormous courage to cope up with the life and to take the children forward. Wonderful. Secondly, and the way you are remembering your husband is also very exemplary. Many people do the pujas and so many other things to remember every year they remember the loved ones. But the way you remember your husband is really exemplary. So these are the things that I want to share with people here. And I just want to say one or two words about the students or the beneficiaries of this STF. I feel that maybe my other two colleagues here, Malini and Pradeep, and this is Susan's brother, relatively from a better of families, maybe I feel that way. When I see people like you, I just want to share with you, because I also have come from a very humble background. My father was a professor, and Uncle Pradeep's father was a big man, and is known for his help. So I just want to say a word to you. I remember once again a word. The hard work beats talent when the talent doesn't work hard. So I believe in hard work. That's what has brought me here. So simply, I set myself a goal. I don't fix up my goal with any personal thing. I just fix it up to a particular goal, my ambition. And when I started from almost from a cattle taker, then I become an IAS officer by simply hard work. I don't know what the talent is. I don't know what the intelligence is. And secondly, as my colleague rightly said, the passion. There is a saying, once again, you love your work, you won't work for a day. That's what it says. If you start liking your work, you will never work for a day. That is, you enjoy your life that way. So here, for people like you and me, life is very challenging. So you take it forward, just with courage. And she also said, the main trustee, Sugun, has taken the life as a challenge. So once I advise you to go with the hard work, set up yourself a goal. And the Malini says this, he says that the gratitude. Gratitude is the greatest virtue of all. And it's also the mother of all other virtues. Every other virtue of a person comes from the gratitude. So if you want to see that these STF move forward, I think we all should be grateful, not as an association of mine with your family. And I still remember the husband all the time, on few occasions. I also want to contribute the lack of looking for the hard work you are doing. And you are really like my parents, just as Mali's parents were. So when even with Susan's brother told me that I have the 10 days, I thought I should not miss it, otherwise I won't come here because I came from almost 20 kilometers away. I thought I should not miss it to see all of you. And I'm really, really inspired by the type of work you do. I wish I do it. Maybe after my political stint is over. After IAS, I became member of parliament and then now MLA. And there is no age limit to set another goal in my life. All because of hard work. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for those gentle words. I'm sure we will work hard and become shining stars and make STF proud and will be grateful forever.
I now invite one of our GC members and current mentor head, Mrs. Sashi Rekha, to felicitate our chief guest with a gift.
Thank you, Sashi ma'am, for honoring our chief guest. I think the success of any organization can be measured by the contribution the alumni makes in raising it to greater heights. We have heard the inspiring story from Srija. Now, I invite Mr. Jagannathan, our recent alumni who has recently left the portals of STF and created a niche for himself at Zoho Corporation as a member technical staff. Let's hear him share his journey with STF.
Good evening to one and all present here. I am Jagannathan. I have been part of Sugun Thomas Foundation for the past 6 years. I completed my BTech in Information Technology in Sri Venkateshwara College of Engineering, Chennai. I am currently working as a software developer in Zoho Corp. Sugun Thomas Foundation has paved the path where I am today. My father was a daily wage worker and my mother is a homemaker. My family's financial background was not in the position to help pursue my higher education. Our family financial background was, our income was barely enough to meet our day-to-day needs. In this situation, I had to stop myself from dreaming and small or big. During my 12th standard, fortunately, I came to know about the STF scholarship from my school teacher of PCKG Government High Secondary School. I filled in the application form and submitted to the STF. Following the submission of the application, the child support group from STF interviewed me about myself, my family background and studies. Later, they visited my house at Kundratur, which is 25 km away from Chetpet office, and informed us that they would support my higher education if my 12th scores met their expectations. This house visit truly created a light of hope in our life. And I studied with great effort on my studies and I scored 1110 out of 1200 in my 12th. Was a dream come true moment when I got a call from STF that I was selected for this scholarship. Yes, I'm indeed blessed that STF has taken me through the 4 years of engineering college, paid for my entire education and watched me as graduate in BTech IT. The significant difference between STF and the other institutions is mentoring. Each student is assigned with a mentor to take care of a student. I'm very lucky to have Mr. Vogi sir as my mentor. He's not just my mentor, he sees me as his younger brother. He's very kind and always is available for me as a support and guide. I have fond memories of being invited to his house, having discussion on various topics and play virtual reality games, which I truly cherish. Finally, I completed my engineering in BTech IT and I got placed with Zogo Corp with 6.6 lakhs per annum. I'm very happy to bring honor to my family by becoming a first graduate and first one enter into an IT company. My family's identity has changed. We have built our own house, all thanks to STF. Words of gratitude are inadequate to each member of STF who has contributed to this transformation in my life. I would like to conclude my speech with this. Once upon a time, I studied in government school and there was no income in my family. Now I am paying income tax to the government. My life can easily be described as before STF and after STF. I still have a long road ahead and I am sure I will reach my destination with the support of STF family. Very soon, I hope I'll stand on the same platform and proclaim that I am a mentor and a donor of STF. Thank you all.
Wow, thank you Mr. Jagannathan for inspiring us. I wait for the day when I too can be a happy contributor to STF.
Last but not the least, a thankful heart opens our eyes to a multitude of blessings that continually surrounds us. I invite Chiranjeevi James, who is studying 12th standard at MCC. I invite Chiranjeevi James, who is studying 12th standard at MCC school, to deliver the word of thanks.
Good evening to one and all present here. I deem it an honor to render the word of thanks on the occasion of 17th annual day of Sugun Thomas Foundation. Let's give it a round of applause. In this journey of Sugun Thomas Foundation, we are fortunate and grateful to be present here on this occasion and be inspired by all the motivating messages by esteemed speakers of the day. I especially thank our honorable chief guest, Dr. Malini Shankar. Let's give her a round of applause for sharing her powerful words of encouragement and wisdom to all of us today. Ma'am, your responses to our questions have been proactive presence, has indeed inspired many of us to contribute as powerful nation builders. I want to extend my generous thanks to all our guests for their constant and unstinting support and cooperation. Dear benefactors, we recognize and appreciate your presence and support in lighting up many lives in the collaboration with STF. On behalf of all the students of STF, I especially thank all the donors, the trustees, and the management of STF. Let's give a round of applause for them. Without whom we wouldn't be so far from achieving our dreams. Dear mentors, you're successful and partook in our anxious moments. We appreciate your presence in our journey of growth. Many thanks to each mentor who is present here and all the mentors and guests from across the globe who have joined us today. Special thanks to the MCs people. Let's give them a round of applause for them. The MCs. We appreciate the involvement in steering this program. I cannot fail to thank the principals of different institutions who are here in the midst today, whose guidance have paved our paths. Special gratitude to the management of Loyola College, who have always supported the STF. Special round of applause for them. Once again, thank you and happy Diwali.
Thank you is all that it takes to express gratitude infinitely. I once again take the privilege in thanking all the dignitaries, those of you who have come here and those connected via YouTube. We wholeheartedly thank each and everyone who has made it here today.
May this relationship of excellence and perfection be maintained in the years to come. We rise by lifting others up. This is what Sugun Thomas Foundation does. Until we meet next, it's Shrina and Irfana signing off. Thank you. God bless.
Then we should not be
Come.
silent.
Yeah, we don't really say a few words.
Yeah, we should pretend that we're celebrating. What is this? What are we celebrating?
Hi, Chad.
Hi, Jack. Okay.